I want to thank you for helping me escape. I owe you my life. Wait, something for your troubles. I was told New Hampshire was the place that you would want to be if you wanted your freedom. I sure hope so. I don't want to go back to where I came from. The President's house on High Street in Philadelphia, let alone Mount Vernon in Fairfax County, Virginia. You know who lives there. My name is Oney Judge, but I am called Oney. Just promise me, you won't tell anyone you've seen me. And as for the captain who helped me escape, I shall never say his name until after his death, lest they should punish him for leading me away. It's been a few days since I left, and I'm sure there are runaway ads all over Philadelphia looking for me. The Washingtons, they'll stop at nothing to find me, I'm sure of it. It'll only be a matter of time before... No. No. Oh, dear, no. I spoke too soon. There's one right here. I've seen these before. Madam, I cannot read very well. Could you read this for me?
$10 reward. Absconded from the household of the President of the United States on Saturday afternoon, Oney Judge, a light mulatto girl, much freckled, with very black eyes and bushy black hair. She is of middle stature, but slender and delicately made, about 20 years of age. She has many changes of very good clothes of all sorts, but they are not sufficiently recollected to describe. As there was no suspicion of her going off, and it happened without the least provocation, it is not easy to conjecture whither she is gone, or fully what her design is, but she may attempt to escape by water. All matters of vessels and others are cautioned against receiving her on board, although she may, and probably will, endeavor to pass for a free woman, and if said has, wherewithal to pay her passage. $10 will be paid to any person, white or black, who will bring her home, if taken in the city or on board any vessel in the harbor, and a further reasonable sum if apprehended and brought home from a greater distance and in proportion to the distance. Fred Kit, Steward, May 24th.
Thank you. $10? Really? Well, there you have it. Oh, I'm in for it now. Now all of Philadelphia and beyond are looking for me, for Oney Judge. Oh, God, what am I going to do? I know what I'm going to do. This. The Oney Judge the Washingtons knew is gone. She is no more. I am my own woman now. I am free. Oh, it felt so good to do that. Oh, now that I am free, oh, I can only imagine what life will be like for me now that I am free. I can sit longer for a minute without having to get up and tend to my mistress's needs. To be able to talk amongst friends and family and not worry about being overheard. To be able to learn to read and write. To be able to have a family. And not worry about us ever being separated. And to my children. Oh my God, my children would be free. Oh, can you imagine that? Oh, these are the things I have often thought of for the many, many years that I have been enslaved. All of my life. And I'm only 20 years. Now, I'm sure there's a question. Will I miss working under Mrs. Washington and her family? Oh, I'm sure I have a small spot in my heart for her somewhere. After all, I was born and raised at Mount Vernon. I grew up as a seamstress, like my mama Betty and my papa, Andrew Judge. Now, while he was an indentured servant, he was one of the best tailors to ever sew one of Master Washington's good suits. We were a family of sewers. But by the time I turned 16 and I was old enough, I was appointed to be the lady's maid to Mrs. Washington for when she became the consort of these United States, the First Lady, which meant I had to work awfully close with her. I helped her get dressed in the mornings and in the evenings. I helped dress her hair, put jewelry on, the makeup, put the buckles on her shoes. I even cleaned her chamber. Anyway, I also attended social functions with her here and there and even ran a few errands for her. I grew awfully close with her grandchildren, some of them. They were like an extension of my own family in some way. My sister, Philadelphia, and my brother's widow, Charlotte, and her children. I'm going to miss them very much, knowing that I'm never going to see them again. But do I have any regret for running? Any regret for seeking my freedom? No. I have no regrets, because I am free, and have been, I trust, been made a child of God by the means. And besides, I don't belong to the Washingtons at all. No. I am a Custis slave. My family, as well as many others that live back at Mount Vernon, we are what are called dower slaves. This is back when Mrs. Washington married her first husband, Mr. Daniel Park Custis of Williamsburg, Virginia. Now, when he died suddenly, he did not leave a last will and testament. So, by law, Mrs. Washington received only 1/3 her widow's share. Everything from furniture, textiles, land, people. 157 of us. So when she remarried Colonel George Washington and moved to Mount Vernon, all 157 of us went with her. And when she dies, we are not to be freed. We are to be given to her grandchildren, next of kin. And when they die, we go on to the next, and then to the next, and to the next, and by then none of us would be free. Can you imagine that? To be given away as a mere hand-me-down. Unbelievable. I can only imagine how frustrated the president must be knowing that he's going to have to pay the Custis estate back for my disappearance. And with that in mind, I had a choice to make. And I had to make it fast. It was either to remain enslaved and be given away as a wedding present to Mrs. Washington's granddaughter, Eliza of all people, or to be free and own my own self. And let me tell you this, I am determined to never be her slave. I'm sure the question now is, but Ona, weren't the Washingtons nice to you? Weren't they kind? Didn't they treat you well? Well, of course they did. Why wouldn't they? I mean, by law, they were required to feed me, dress me, clothe me, to put a roof over my head. But at the end of the day, they only saw me as a child, incapable of having independent thought and action. However, I was allowed to have certain privileges that I would never have back home in Mount Vernon. Back in Philadelphia, I would be allowed to at least go see the theater, to go to the circus to see the tumbling feats. And trust me, you would love to see the tumbling feats. If you have never seen them before, I highly recommend it. Also, every year in February, on Master Washington's birthday, all 9 of us will be given $1 each. And we can do whatever we wanted with that $1. Some of us were smart enough to collect it, and some of us, such as Hercules Posey, would spend as much as he possibly could. A blue suit. As for me, I wanted to do something very special. When I went home to Mount Vernon, I had the opportunity of giving my mother a beautiful pair of earrings, something she has never ever had for herself. My mama looked at me and smiled and placed them back in my hand and said, "I'm sorry, sweetheart. This is something too pretty for me to ever wear." I guess I'll have to sell those earrings in order to make a living here. Come to think of it, we've been visiting home quite a lot lately. Yes. Just when I got used to the idea of living and working in Philadelphia, we'd pack up and go right back to Virginia. And we would do this every 6 months. Don't you all find that to be quite peculiar? Strange? I remember Hercules saying something to me not too long ago, saying that there was a law in Philadelphia called the Gradual Abolition Act of 1781, saying that any slave that lived and worked within the parameters of Philadelphia would immediately get their manumission, their freedom, after 6 months. I don't know about you, but that sounds too much like a coincidence. So, by then I've already made up my mind. Whilst they were packing to go back to Virginia, I too was packing to go. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that if I were to go back to Virginia, I shall never have my liberty. So I'll tell you exactly what I did. Whilst they were having dinner, I made my way out the back and made my way to freedom. Now, I did not do this alone, mind you. I had help in the free Negro community. They know exactly where to go, who to talk to, who not to talk to. And that's exactly how I met the captain, John Bowles. Now, I did say I would never say his name, but this is very, very important. Captain John Bowles is responsible for me being here, responsible for me getting a second chance at life, my freedom, something I've never had until now. I owe him everything. But now that I am here, I have to figure out how exactly I'm going to survive out here. It's a possibility I could hire myself out as a seamstress. I mean, after all, I made these beautiful gowns for myself, for Nellie, Eliza, Mrs. Washington. Oh dear, I do not have samples to show off my work. I suppose I could be a laundress. Can't be too hard to do. Or I could also be a domestic, something I've done most of my life. I guess that's something I'm going to have to do. Well, with that being said, I think this is where I'm all going to leave you. But promise me, you didn't see me.